I know she loved me, and that's why I listened. She gently touched me on the shoulder, pulled me aside, and said, I need to talk to you. You have to tone down your strength a bit because people are intimidated by you. I said, really? And she replied, it's not that you're doing anything wrong, but your strength. It intimidates people. And I know she meant it lovingly, so I listened. I toned it down. I've worked with managers who were far more advanced than me, and those relationships were smooth. But I've
Artlist.io.
also worked with managers that I was more advanced than, and those relationships always had friction, always tension. So what did I do? I kept shrinking. I kept toning myself down so they wouldn't feel incompetent.
Music
But here's
licensing
what I
reimagined.
realized. Every time I shrank, I felt the tightening inside me. Every time I silenced my insight, my knowledge, my brilliance, I felt pieces of me dying. And when I finally allowed myself to speak at full capacity, to stand at full height, something clicked and I could no longer ignore it. I recently spoke with another woman,
Artlist.io.
brilliant, competent, but overlooked, and she described the same feeling. And that's when I knew unmute isn't just a message, it's a personal mission. I've just had enough. I created Unmute because I know what it means to lead while
Music
muted, and I know
licensing
what it means to
reimagined.
rise with healed authority. Let's be honest, silence isn't always weakness. Sometimes it's wisdom. You stayed quiet to keep the job. You downplayed your brilliance to protect fragile egos. You softened your fire because someone called it too much. Silence was your shield until it became your prison. But here's what I know. You were not created to
Artlist.io.
whisper through your wins. You weren't born to be background to your own brilliance, and you've led well. But now it's time to lead whole. That's why Unmute exists. It's not just about finding your voice. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you to be quiet.
Music licensing
Over the
reimagined.
years, I've noticed that women who've been silenced by culture, by family, by church, and in the corporate world tend to wear one of these three masks. Number one, the performer. She's polished, professional, and praised, but completely disconnected from her purpose. She's built a career on excellence, but the cost has been her own voice. Number two, the caretaker. She supports everyone else,
Artlist.io.
carries everyone's burdens, and hides behind her work. She's selfless, but silently eroding. And number three, the strategist. And that one is me, or used to be. She plays the game, reads the room, edits her truth to stay safe. She knows what to say and what
Music
not to
licensing
say, to keep
reimagined.
access, to keep the peace, and most importantly, to keep her job. Each of these masks was built for survival. But survival is not your assignment, wholeness is. Here's what they don't talk to you about in leadership circles. Silence has a cost. Every time you mute your voice, you lose more than just a moment. You lose momentum, you lose conviction, you lose pieces of yourself. Some of us are tired, not because we're weak, but because we've been
Artlist.io.
performing strength in silence for far too long. But, beloved, we can't heal what we've normalized. When you unmute, you don't just speak up, you rise. You become visible
Music
to yourself.
licensing
You
reimagined.
disrupt the systems that benefit from your silence, and you start to breathe differently. Your presence becomes a force, not just a placeholder. You're not just sitting in a room to make up numbers. And you begin to see what happens when your inner healing meets external authority. Let me be clear. Your healing will disrupt some things. but it will align you with the spaces you were meant to occupy. If something inside you whispered yes while I was speaking, if you felt seen, if you felt spoken to, then unmute is your next step. Join me for the full Unmute webinar. It's not just a class, it's a call. A call to rise in your healed authority, a call to speak the truth, live the truth, and lead from a place of wholeness. I'll show you the exact framework I've used to help high-capacity women reintroduce themselves to the world boldly, unapologetically, and spiritually grounded. Register now at www.carlenemillwood.com/merge webinar. Come ready to meet the version of you the world actually needs. You were never meant to stay silent. You were born to lead whole.
Music licensing reimagined.